Right, apparently we are live. And I can't tell you not to swear because I think I swore straight away. So let's try this again, shall we? Are we live? Right, apologies for my lack of professionalism. Okay, is the audio okay? Right, that is my Halloween light that is on. And we are going to... hi. How we doing? I put that red light on for my, just for the thumbnail thing. So, we are this side. In case you're wondering why we're this side of the games room. It's just in case we have a visitor. There's been a lot of fireworks going off lately. And Rossi might come charging in here. So he can't, when I'm in my other chair, my gaming chair, or my games chair, he can't really sit in my lap. So I'm on here just in case, okay? I might give him a call. I know everyone likes to see Rossi, don't they? So should we get him up here? Rossi! Where are you, boy? Is he there? Where are you? Quick! Oh, I can hear him. I can hear him. Well, hello. Hello. Coming up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there he is. He's the star of the show. Say hello. Got anything to say? He's tired because we've been running today, haven't we? Oh, look at his face. Did you ever see a happier dog? Look at this one. He's looking after me. Aren't you? Looking after me. Look at him, funny one. Right then. So, I can't see my notebook now. I've got a few things to talk about. I remember the first thing, right? It's taken me by surprise. It shows you never know who is out there. Oh, Access Area 6. What's going? Access Area 6. Hey, Tony and Rossi. Well, hello there. Get comfy. Normally, I've got the legs kicked out as well. So he's like lying on my lap. Okay. Yeah, so, breaking news. Donald Macro came in. What happened there? Oh, mate. Do you know when... It's the first time I've ever tried. Still learning this YouTube thing. First time I've ever tried. Go down there. Good boy. There's my dog's bum. Oh, I'm all tangled up in here now, Rossi. Hey up again, Kev. Oh, yeah, sorry. So, I scheduled it, didn't I? I thought, this is more professional now, isn't it? Schedule it for 7 o'clock, so I'll go live at 7, like always, on a Monday. And then, when I went to go live, it let me take the thumbnail, but it wasn't letting me do the orientation. I'll have to figure it out. But it's a bollock, isn't it? When you're learning whilst you're going live, which is not ideal for people watching. Oh my god, I got a climbing dog. Careful now. Don't hurt yourself. So, yeah, sorry guys. Sorry. Come along if you can't sing along. What is occurring? Come along if you can't sing along. Look at that doggo. Yeah, he's just off camera, just there now. Don Macwell, it did it to me on my stream yesterday. YouTube is bloody annoying sometimes. I know it's probably something simple, but in the 2 years I've been doing it, they make these changes, I think, and I don't know where we're supposed. Are they letting us know as creators? Are they letting us know? I just seem to I go live. Oh, that's moved. That was normally up there. Why are they doing this? Or I'll have an update as I press live, and it's like really friggin' confusing, you know. Hey dude, hope you're doing well. Yes, I'm doing well. I am doing well. So, first thing, where is my notepad? Oh, it's under there. I got some game, got stuff to talk about. I've got an agenda. Okay. That's the lighting right as well. And I'm faffing now, aren't I? Ooh, that's the one. That's the money shot. That is the money shot. Donald McGraven, you can change the orientation when setting the video up, but then sometimes it changes back anyway. It's probably a me problem. I've probably pressed something. But hey ho, it is what it is, isn't it? Right, so this isn't gaming related, right? But just it's quite. I find it quite interesting. Okay, that's my hand. My hand is really interesting, right? So that's the money shot right there. The moustache is gone, I'm afraid. I had an interview, which we'll get to that. Yeah, so there was in my not my last job that I just got fired from. The job before that, I was working in a gym as a cleaner. Okay, I quite enjoyed it, but it's quite an expensive gym, and it's not full of. 75% of the people there are assholes, and looking back, we had a family changing room, and a lot of people there. The way I look at it, right, a lot of people that can afford to go there have got really good jobs. So they're either inherited a lot of money or they got really good jobs. So, like, I'm talking like CEOs of companies and stuff like that. So they don't like, or they're not used to and don't like being told what to do. And there was a complaint we had about old men in the family changing room. Okay, it's a nice big changing room, and then there's this small family changing bit, right? So we had kids classes, so a lot of the times there'd be a father with a son or a daughter in this family changing room, and I got dog's hair in my mouth. Nice. I hope it's a dog's hair. It's not one of mine anyway. I remember they basically they put these signs up saying this is a gentle reminder. This is a family changing area. But there was a small group of people that were kicking off because they didn't like. They said no, we weren't changing here. And the male manager, wasn't the big manager, but the fucking hair. I just have to eat it. Yeah, this male manager was, he had quite a bit of pushback. I wasn't there, but my supervisor was there as well. And they were saying we can change where we want. And, I pay enough money to change where I want. And then the manager, the person dealing with the complaint, was like, why would you want to change in here if there's young children in here, kind of thing? Let's get to the comments. You can change your orientation. I don't know. Any job where they won't let you have a tash isn't worth having, especially if it's a Freddie Mercury impersonator. That's a good point, actually. So I remember one of the men, right, that was in this group that was pointed out to me, and he was a bit of a knob, right? And you do think, why would you want to change? You can probably tell where this is going. Why would you want to change where the kids are changing? Do you know what I mean? So, do you know these? I got the name of the group here. You've all watched them probably, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Like predator catchers and stuff like that. So there's this local one. It's like a Welsh group, okay, called Dank Dragon. Look for them on Facebook, right? Dank Dragon. And basically, I gotta be careful why you word it. So PDF file. That man has been caught messaging 13 or 14-year-old girl inappropriately. I'm not sure if it was a decoy. I really hope it was a decoy. But yesterday they stung him, do you know what I mean? And it was like, I recognise him. And they turned up at the club, but they weren't filming this, so I don't know if they got footage of it, but this wasn't on the live. But they were basically protecting the PDF file, okay? So, like, they said, we here to speak. The guy was pretending, or said, that he was a tennis instructor. It was a tennis club. So they knew where to go to get him. So they thought they were going to get him at his workplace, but he was in the gym in the club. It wasn't a gym, it was a tennis club. So it had swimming pool and all the other stuff that go along with it, gym and all the classes and all that shit, So yeah, they were slating the manager, calling her a PDF file protector, and I couldn't stand her, and they were protecting the receptionist, who they're saying she's a PDF protector. But I don't care. I don't work here anymore. But the woman on reception had a problem with people who had different pigmentations in their skin. I'll leave it there. You can work out the rest of it. She had the same pigment in her skin that I've got, but anyone that didn't have the same pigment in their skin, she didn't like them. That's all I'm saying, okay? So that was David Lloyd in Swansea. So very interesting, I thought, you know what I mean? I know it's not gaming related. Don McElroy, even better was that he was practicing vicar. I don't know what he apparently had a really. They turned up at his house. Of course, they don't film the family and stuff. So from what we could tell, he had a girlfriend. He was recently divorced. He said he was 50. He was about in his 60s, I reckon. And they said his wife was stunning. That's the way the word they used. You know what I mean? So yeah, he screwed himself over there. I just thought it was fascinating in my last job, you know. My imaginary friend Chris. What's occurring, my imaginary friend Chris? Bring back the death penalty. Yes, please, for PDF files. We don't like them. Okay, so that was non-gaming related. The other thing I'm going to talk about as well is I'm going to do a little bit on mental health. Okay, it is important. Then I'm going to talk about horror games, so there's going to be some gaming in here, okay? It's kind of a genre that I am new to. And horror movies, okay? So I've got, I think I got my I tried to do top 3 horror games. And then I'm going to ask you guys there when we get there for your recommendation. Oh, I'm not sure if that was fireworks just then. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I can do top horror games, so I want your recommendations. And I want to do top horror movies. So I tried to do it top 3, but I couldn't. I got to do top 5, do you know what I mean? Jack Torsell, what's occurring? Jack was in my last job. Are you still there? They seem to have targets on firing people, don't they? Well, Smaug. What's occurring, Smaug? Yep, lads and lasses. Jack Tosser. Not a horror game, but talk about Half-Life. God damn it. What a game. What a game. Half-Life or Half-Life 2. Just seen the Ninja Scrolls Steelbook behind you. Oh, yes. Where are we looking? Oh, yeah, that is beautiful. I ordered that. That's a CX online order, and it came to me without the dent in it, you know what I mean? So I'm well happy with that. Still there somehow, Jack. I nearly applied for. I did apply and got the job in Amazon, literally next door. But I thought, no, I don't want to travel that far anymore, so I'm gonna try and get a job, worst case scenario, in Amazon, the one in Swansea. So that's the plan of attack there, okay? So, I think, Smaug, you were talking about... yeah, please don't swear. You were talking about, mental health and stuff and having a check-in with everyone, okay? So, yeah, shout out to you. But it's something I advocate for. I had I've openly talked about it. I had a breakdown. Oh, gosh. Just before I bought about 6 months before I bought my house, lost my memory. It was a mess, okay? So that was me. My family knew there was something wrong with me, with my alcohol addiction and stuff like that. So my family knew, but when I lost my memory and had to go to hospital for it, okay, they nearly had to go to a stay away in a mental hospital. They asked me, but they thought I can be fixed without going that extreme route, you know what I mean? So that's when it scared the shit out of me, okay? So that's when I couldn't say no. I knew there was something wrong. Still is stuff wrong with me, but that's when I seeked professional help. I had counselling. But what worked well for me was it was during COVID, or just as COVID was starting. So going to see a counsellor and all that. I didn't have to. It was a Skype call, and there was loads of us on these Skype calls because I couldn't have. That was perfect for me, okay? Because I don't like crowded spaces, and if I had to take it seriously like I did, talking in a group about personal stuff that I've never even told my family, I couldn't have done it. I probably would have gone once and then gone, nah, it's not for me. But it definitely was for me, okay? So basically, what my last week has looked like, okay? I've had one job interview, right? And what I want to talk about, right, is I'll talk about my, if anyone's noticing. So yes, I'm unemployed, but I'm still buying. I bought the odd game here and there, buying some movies and stuff like that. But the reason I'm doing that, okay, is I've got savings, okay, but maybe now's not the time to be spending money. You should be saving money when you haven't got an income. I'm confident I'll get a job within the next couple of weeks anyway, okay? But the reason I'm buying these little things, they're actually, and this works for me, it might not work for you or for anyone else struggling out there, it's treats, because I got an alcohol addiction. Like my brother and Laxton, shout out my brother and Laxton, they went out last night and I was invited, literally down the pub down the road. But I said no, because I know if I went out, I would have had a drink. So by buying these little things, a small little rewards, I'm getting it day by day. Like I'm doing, right, if I can do 3 days without going to the off license, I'm just going to buy myself a new game. Or I'm going to buy myself a movie. I'll watch that movie tonight rather than, because I know for a fact, if I had any alcohol in the house, I would drink it. I got to be honest. That's me. Maybe it's boredom. I know what I'm like. I can't have a bit. I'd have to drink it all. And Malibu was my drinker choice. I'm not struggling. I know where I'm at, okay? So I promise when I had Rossi, my puppy, I promise I'm never going to drink while I've got Rossi anyway. So I should be safe, okay? But I like to keep my promises to myself. But that's why I'm buying these little, like I've been posting today's mail arrivals. There's a few other things I've ordered that are yet to be delivered as well. Okay, so in case anyone's wondering, it does tie in with what I wanted to talk about, the mental health aspect, okay? Let's have a catch up on the comments. Oh, Pasma90, how are you? Giza, all good and hood. Welcome to the stream. Jack Tossler, about to go and smoke a Rasta cigarette. Love you, Tony. Stay safe. Yeah, thanks for stopping on by, dude. And Amazon, you got this, son. Exactly. I think I was supposed to go up there today, of all days. Smug, that's right, mate. Yes, good to have mental checkup. I appreciate that so bad. Don Mackerel, I think the best thing that can happen to a man to hit rock bottom, realize they're at the bottom, and then get help. I can deal with anything now, and nothing scares me anymore. Fuck, I can't read, can I? Fair play to you, Don Mackerel. That's well said, Donald. I'm same board. Nothing can get me the way it used to be. Hats off to you, Tony. You've done well. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Okay, so one of the things that by having the counselling, it was 10 either 1 hour or 1.5 hour sessions. Okay, so it was like every Friday, and I was really lucky. I reckon sometimes things happen for a reason, right? So the job I was doing, I used to work at 1:30 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon till late. So I didn't have to change any shifts or anything like. So the counselling was in the morning, and it was 10, I'd say it was about an hour and a half, 1 hour and a half sessions, okay, every single Friday. And we had homework and stuff like that. I really took it seriously, right? But one of the things they said, and it's in the Love Him or Hate Him, one of the Tyson Fury books, he talks about it, right, is the way Tyson Fury words it is personas, okay? So, and I use it without even thinking about it sometimes, right? But I'll give you a good example of when I've had to use it, but I was thinking about it. So the job I applied for, I didn't get it, unfortunately. It was in, it was about a 10-minute walk from my house. So I thought that was the attraction. But it's just working in like a corner shop. I've got retail experience, but not working with groceries and stuff like that. And yeah, the interview was 10-minute walk away. So I thought I'll leave at half hour early because I've never actually walked to this shop, never been in this particular shop. So I knew exactly where it was. But I thought, just in case, get there nice and early. But by the time I got outside, it was a mini panic attack. I suddenly thought my negative thoughts were starting to get the better of me. They were like, I was there 20 minutes early, right? So you're worthless. You're never going to get this job. Why would they give you a job? And then I was like, yeah, what am I doing here? Just go home. Just turn around and go home and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, yeah, I'm worthless. So I went round the back of there was like a lane. So I done all those bollards. I sat down on one of those bollards. And I remembered my counselling, and it was like persona. It took me about 5 minutes to almost. I wish it was as easy as flicking a switch, but in a way, I was flicking that switch. It took me 5 minutes to flick it to go from negative. I thought just walk in there. I had plenty of time as well, right? So walk in there, be super confident. I reminded myself of all the jobs I've done. I went from being this worthless, pathetic person that I sometimes think I am, to super confident, maybe too confident because I didn't get the job, right? But I look at it, it was good practice, right? And it was the first interview of a load for the sounds of it. So I went in there I was the best candidate ever, super duper confident. The owner was a little bit late as well. So I just sat down and he goes, tell me about yourself. I just went bang, bang, bang. I was on fire. So it's just brought my confidence back by putting it on kind of thing. And Tyson Fury talks about it in his book. You know, like the Gypsy King is one of his personas. The way he is in front of the cameras. Do you honestly think his wife and kids would be able to put up with that person? That's a persona. He's like, she'll just divorce me because nobody could live with the Gypsy King. Do you know what I mean? So again, I was I was just showing the best version of myself as far as from a retail point of view. I give it my best shot. But a lot of the time, I didn't have any experience in that specific role. So it was give me the confidence that I did my best. That's all you can ever ask for, right? And that version of Tony, that persona, was the best I could have done. I'm just so confident now. Just to get that interview out of the way. It was my practice interview. So hopefully the next interview will be a different result, you know. You are smashing it, bro. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. I've had that exact moment in the past, Tony, where I think I'm worthless. It's tough to encounter as the thought can be overwhelming, but well done for turning around, mate. Appreciate that. I'll tell you an example of when it didn't go so well. I went to a jobs fair in the Dragon Hotel in Swansea, and I felt really good going in there. And this was before my counselling, okay? And there was two big fat women. I wish I knew what company it was, right? So literally went in, CVs in their Polly pocket. Oh, yeah, let's go get a job. Dressed half smart, blazer and stuff on, like a casual smart kind of thing. Two fat biddies sitting in front of some big logo or something. So I said, and it was there was writing on there and stuff. And I just said, oh, so what is it you guys do? And expect just to try and engage in a conversation with these two ladies. And one of them tutted, and the other one went, you can't read then, can you? And that, I went from up here to down here like that. And I had a full-on panic attack. I almost had to run. I probably was running out of there. I was nearly crying. I'm so annoyed that those two dickheads were so rude to me that there's no need for that. Do you know what I mean? And I was drenched, absolutely. You could almost wring my shirt out by the time I got home, right? And I went to bed. I slept flat out for 4 hours. It was the worst panic attack I've ever encountered, okay? And if you've ever had a full-on panic attack, it's exhausting. Every muscle in your body, from head to your tippy toes, right, is just tensed and panic. You're in fight or flight mode almost. It was just horrible. I didn't have the tools I needed to deal with that situation. Now we'd probably take a deep breath and just go, have a good day, ladies, and just think, they've lost me. I'm a good worker. I've got confidence. I always work hard in all the jobs I've done, okay? I know I just got sacked, but that wasn't my fault. So I would have been able to deal with that, but I didn't have the tools. So the moral of the story, guys, is if you're struggling, it worked for me. It might not work for everyone. Seek professional help. Now, if you don't want to do that and just want someone to talk to, jump on. This is me promoting my Instagram. I wish YouTube had a way of having messages. I can't, as far as I'm aware, there isn't. So if you want to shoot me a message, send me a message on my Instagram. I think Don Mackerel, I think we've communicated. You had a question for me or something. So yeah, it's the same name, Tony Fighter 2. You'll see me on Instagram. Send me a message. And I'm more than happy, if you just want to chat or anything like that, I'm more than happy to do that, okay? But what worked for me was speaking to the professionals. I'm not a professional, I'm far from it. But it worked. It thoroughly, definitely worked for me, okay? Let's catch up on the comments. Don Macro came in. I just see yourself the way your dog sees you. Oh, bless. You go by any Rossi? Oh, he's fast asleep. He's good as whenever we go walking or running, he's good as gold for that day. You know what I mean? That's mental health, okay? So that is really, really, really important, okay? I'm struggling to see, and I got my glasses right here. What am I like? What am I like? Okay then, guys. Horror games, okay? So I've got... It's a kind of a genre that is new to me, okay? And I kind of want to do my top 3. I got one honourable mention, and I'm going to show you what other games I've got, right? And let me know. But if you wouldn't mind, do you know where it says... No, we got a live chat. This is for the live viewers, okay? That's all the Steam's up. If you don't mind, if you've got any recommendations for horror games, can you put them in the actual comments so I'll see them forever, if that makes any sense, rather than putting it in the live stream? Do you understand that? Okay, so I got an honourable mention because it's not a horror game, but it's I can't see nothing with that Steam there. I'm new to glasses, guys. I'm new to it. I don't know what the rules are with glasses, right? So I got my top 3 and an honourable mention because it's one level, okay? So my honourable mention, right, is Thief. So Thief Deadly Shadows, right? I'm long overdue a playthrough of this game, right? It's not a horror game. It's obviously a stealth game, isn't it? What consoles you got, matey? Or PC? PS4 and PS5, ideally, okay? But if you've played this, you might know. But this is the first game I've ever played that scared me. There is one level in it where you go to an abandoned, what do they call it? A child home. Like it's all shut down and everything, but it's haunted. And as you're going through this is it called child home? Foster home or something like that? It's a huge building, like a school kind of thing, but the kids live there. What they call like a boarding school? Is it? I think it's a board. We call it a boarding school, right? So you're going through this haunted boarding school, all right, and you're reading the scrolls, and you find out some terrible stuff went down, and then you start seeing stuff's running around, and it really gives you the creeps. Do you know what I mean? So that's the first time before that game, I thought movies can scare you, video games can't scare you. Do you know what I mean? But then again, before the Xbox, I don't know what games were. Again, I wasn't into the Resident Evils back then, but that was the first. That's an honourable mention. Okay. Right, so these are, again, I haven't played a lot of horror games, right? So this actually arrived today. So I got the Outlast Trinity, and I believe it was 10 years ago. I think it might have been 10 years ago today I was playing the first one. Now, I had a PS4 very early on, not at launch, but I think within 6 months, 4 to 6 months of it coming out. And what I noticed, there wasn't a lot of games. I bought all the games worth having, and there wasn't a lot coming out. I mean, we had to wait. It's almost like the console launched too soon. And then, so it's one of the few times I've had Game Pass. And one of the games that was free was the first Outlast. I thought I'll give it a go, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Creepy as hell. It's exactly what I expected. It was, I can't remember hardly anything about. I remember the ending was really like impressive. Do you know what I mean? It was really, I was so hooked on this game. Right. So this has got the Outlast 2 and Outlast Whistleblower. I'm not actually sure. It might have been the Whistleblower. I'll have to check on the PlayStation Store to see which one it was. Well, actually, I'm confident it was the first one that I played. Okay, so yeah, that is my third favourite horror game. Okay, coming in at number 2 is Alien Isolation. Now, I haven't actually finished this. I played it the way I think it's supposed to be played. What I mean by that is, I remember I was living in Carlisle, shout out Carlisle, and with the headphones on, and I was waiting for it to go dark. So I go, is it dark enough? Then I put it on, and I was really, it was like transporting me to a different world. You know what I mean? I loved this game. The pacing, everything about it. But that fucking xenomorph does not leave you alone. So I don't think I ever walked at full speed. I was walking really, really, really slowly all the way down, looking like you would in real life. If you were stuck on a space station and you knew there was a xenomorph or whatever's out there, they hear you, you're dead, kind of thing. Yeah, that game, just, there was something about that game, and it's, I think they've announced they're doing a sequel, aren't they? Or they very recently announced they're doing a sequel. Adore that game, Tony. Just planned it recently. Alien Isolation. Love the films as well since I was younger. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic franchise, isn't it? I like the new one. Is it Romulus? I bought that. I'm going to buy that when it comes out. Is it next month? It's out soon anyway, you know. So that game, but I got to the point. I think I was quite close to the end. I remember I was underneath the table. I dropped down into this room, climbed under a table. I was just too scared because the xenomorph was right there, and I think the alarm was going off, and it was just too intense. Looking back, I probably should have gone, right, let's just fucking finish the game, play it when there's a little bit of sunlight, take the fucking headphones off, and play it that way. But that's too much for me, but I will go back, and there's an unfinished business there, you know. Romulus is great in cinemas, awesome. Yeah, we went to the cinema to watch that. But this game, so Resident Evil 2. My experience with Resident Evil was, I remember one of my friends had it, and I think it was the first one, I just couldn't get on with the control, like on the PlayStation or PS1, you know. But then everyone's talking about the remakes, and I waited for this game to go down to £10. I was tight, right? And it was on a demo. That's right. I've had my eye on it. Like the look visually, I thought it looks really impressive, right? So then, good old PS5 with the demos. I played the demo, and that was it. I thought, it's amazing game for what it is. I think it's the perfect game. I only played it this year as well. So if I'm thinking, people have been talking about Game of the Year, this is going to be in my Game of the Year list, because this is the year I finally got around to playing it, okay? I love the fact that the pacing of the game, but how slow you've got to open things up. You need a specific key, and that key could be fucking hidden in the statue all the way over there. Then you got to remember, I needed that. Could have been 2 hours earlier, you would need to go in this room. It's very slowly, and this, like, police station gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I originally thought the whole game was in that just police station, you know. Spoiler, it's not. But that's the best part of the game. It's amazing. That's, I'd say, 10 out of 10, okay? That's the standard, okay? And it's thanks to this game. I wouldn't say rediscovered my love, because I've never really loved this kind of game before. It's the first time I've played this kind of game. So this is where I bought a couple of other games, which I'll show you, which I haven't got around to playing yet. So this is where I'm going to need you guys, to let me know if you can put it in the comment, not live chat. Do you know what I mean? Not the live chat, but the other thing. Just comment. So I'll have them. I'll have them there. You know. It's a quick catch up on the comments. I couldn't do it. It scared the life out of me. Alien Isolation. It is. I agree with you. It is. It's a really clever game, though. I like. Is it that bit where it ties in with Alien, where you're actually playing at? Is it? You feel like you're in the movie. Do you know what I mean? Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Me too, Donald. I'm gluten for punishment. Lol. Scariest 6. I wasn't expecting the baby big dude at the end of Romulus. Oh yeah, that guy. He's a real guy as well, isn't he? He's a basketball player. He looks. What a scary looking guy. He didn't actually have a lot of makeup on. I don't think. That's how he. That's how he looks. He's like a 7-foot fucking freak. Like, do you know what I mean? You could have been in your basketball team, Donald. Smaug, do you ever play horror games on the PS1 or PS2, Tony? The thing is, I probably won't, because I don't think those games would have aged that well, unless I run out of more modern games. And I know some games they're making, like I know they're doing it with the first-person shooting games, aren't they? Where they make a game to look like a PlayStation game or a PS2 game kind of thing. They're purposely going for that art style. I might check those out. The only games I tend to really play, this might surprise nobody, is the fighting games, because they've aged fantastic. Because that's one of the golden ages. I think we're in the second, I've said before, that the original golden age was the Sega Saturn and the PS1 fighting games, and now we're in the second coming of the golden age, okay? Don Mackerel, I'm terrible with scary ones. Resident Evil 7 VR got me. Mild grip on me though. Yeah, brilliant. I've actually played the demo of that as well. Thinking about it, it just reminded me. I think it glitched out of me or something. It was a bit where I think you're supposed to be in a car and it's doing like donuts in this garage or something like that. But I wasn't in the car. I don't know, like my mates are telling me, no, you're supposed to be in the car. What do you mean you weren't in the car? So I think I did something wrong there. But that's another one I'm going to go back to, you know. I can't go back to the normal comment yet, mate, but I will do. Thank you. Yeah, so if you know what I mean, no, when you can go back and do that, that'll be very, very good. Just in case I'll forget otherwise. Some games better because the technical limitations. Silent Hill, for example. So it'd be better. Obviously, the remakes you're talking about, is it? First recommendations is Crow Country, Tony. PS1 style horror game done this year on the PS5. I think I'm aware of it. I think it came up in either new games coming out or games to keep an eye on kind of thing. It's good then, is it? Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I forget who said it, but what you can't see that scares you. Yes, I'll talk about that actually. I'm going to when I get to the movies, okay? I got a really a scary movie be scarier if they didn't show so much of the enemy, you know. So yeah, it's your imagination is scarier, isn't it, than what the movies can show you. PS1 fighting games are still amazing today. Yes, they actually are. Absolutely are. Angry Moose. What is occurring, Angry Moose? Hello there. I hope all is good. Yeah, all good. Scariest game I've ever played was on PC when I was a kid. Realms of the Haunting, it was called. You had to explore an old haunted mansion. Sounds awesome. Very creepy game. Realms of the Haunting. Again, the thing with PC, there's so many games stuck on the PC that we never... I think now they're talking about, there's a Stalker. I remember seeing that, reading that, well, looking at pictures of that in a gaming magazine back in... when I was living in Paris. I bought a fucking Xbox magazine, or, no, a gaming magazine back then, just to look at the picture. I couldn't speak a word. I couldn't read a word of fucking French. But I liked looking at the pictures. Yeah, and I remember seeing, I think in the PC were miles ahead of us back then. I meant that the poor graphics of the PS1, PS2 make your brain fill in the gaps. That's interesting, yes. Yeah, true. That's right, Donald. That's why I love Eastern horror, Japanese, Korean, when they get under my skin like very few Western horror films can. I adore the horror movie boom in Japan of the late 90s. Oh, I like my Japanese movies, more my martial arts, but that could be a slippery slope. Like The Ring. It's meant to be much scarier, isn't it, The Ring? The original. Is that a Japanese movie? I think that was originally a Japanese movie. That's on one of my watch list. Pulse is one of my all-time favourite horror movies, Japanese horror films from 2001. Yes, Mag. I was lucky enough to play PT, the portable demo, back in the day. PT. What was that now? PT. Sorry, I'm not sure. PT. It's probably right under there. Right, so, guys, I've just got 3 games to show you. So, I think I might have picked up Alone in the Dark. I just saw it somewhere for like £1 or something. I remember reading the reviews, and like all the big gaming companies, and Maxim give it a 4 out of 5, and FHM give it a 4 out of 5. You know, the proper gaming magazines give it a good score, you know. So I thought I'd buy that, and I think they've recently done a remake or sequel to it. I'm not 100% sure. But these 2 games, right, I bought these because Resident Evil was so good. I thought, now this is a genre I'm going to get into. So I've got the Evil Within 2. I left the price on that. I can't, not to show off, but it's a £5 because I can't get the fucking sticker off tidy. But the good thing is, because I'm discovering a new genre now, a lot of the backlog of games, I'm going to pick them up cheap as hell, you know. So I'm looking now, like Resident Evil 4, the remake. That only came out not that long ago, like a year or so. And that's something like 20 quid now, physical, so you can't go wrong. The other one is White Day, and I know there's a sequel to this. So I'm quite looking forward to getting into that one as well. So, let me know, is there any other games you think I should explore? Like, I don't class, and probably horror, I suppose. Like The Last of Us, I love the first Last of Us. It is one of my favourite games of all time. So I played the 2 of them, okay? But they're not scary, are they? I know it's a horrible world that they're living in. I suppose technically they're horror, but when I'm talking about like really survival horror, more Resident Evil kind of games I'm looking for. I know I've got the whole Resident Evil series to get stuck into as well, haven't I? The Silent Hills demo. Is there a demo for Silent Hill 2, is there? I didn't see one. If there is, I'll have to check that out. Edition is one of my dad's favourites. Yeah, mate, that's a good one, Donald. Alone in the Dark, don't watch the film with Christian Slater. I didn't know there's a movie, or was I aware was a movie? I can't remember. I cannot remember. Right, let's see if I can work my glasses. So the second thing I wanted to talk about this evening, guys, is obviously horror movies, okay? And I got like a list. I was going to do my top 3. I could do my head in my glasses, huh? Top 3 horror movies, okay? But I thought what I'll do, these aren't necessarily my top 3 favourite horror movies. These are the top 5. My top 5 scariest, okay? And when I watched them, a lot of these I probably watched when I was a little bit too young, okay? So I've got shout-outs, movies like The Thing, right? I loved that movie, right? That is it's in my top 20 favourite movies of all time. Yes, it was scary, it was creepy. It was one of my dad's favourite movies as well. I'm talking about the remake, not the original, the one that came out, the Tim Burton one. Yeah, everyone thinks the Tim Burton one's the original, but no, I'm talking about the Tim Burton. That's the remake, okay, not the sequel to the Tim Burton one, right? So that's an amazing horror movie, isn't it? When you think a good horror movie, if you haven't seen The Thing, go and watch The Thing. But did it really scare me? It's a fantastic idea. Those men, it's terrifying, isn't it? Who do you talk to? Are you talking to the alien? That is scary, right? But it's not. These other movies petrified me then. That's scary, not petrifying, right? They're remaking the Thing PS2 game. Ah, are they really? That's another game I need to play. I got it on the Xbox as well. I think it was a launch title for the Xbox. Yes, thank you. I forgot about that one. Alien. We were talking about Alien or Aliens. So I'd say that Aliens is a sci-fi action / horror, isn't it? Amazing movie. But Alien is really, really scary as well. But it didn't petrify me because I couldn't relate to it. I'm not on a spaceship, okay? Where in space no one can hear me scream. I've never been to space. So my head can distance myself away from that because I know it's just a movie, okay? Another one, Shaun of the Dead comedy, awesome movie. But is it scary? It's not scary, it's more funny. Godzilla. Is Godzilla a horror movie? A lot of people say the first Godzilla is a horror movie. But put it this way, if Godzilla came to Wales and everyone's running away from him, I'd be going to him. I'm Godzilla's #1 fan. And there isn't a better way to die than being stepped on Godzilla or whatever, or being eaten by gods. Yeah, come on. Do you know what I mean? So he's not scary. He's perfect, Godzilla is, but it's an amazing movie. Misery. It is a horror movie. It's one of Stephen King's best. I didn't like the book. I couldn't get into the book. But it's one of his most famous movies, is it? I don't know. Okay, people probably say it. But that one scene, spoiler, where his legs are healing nice, strength's starting to come back, so she fucking gets the sledgehammer out. Oh my god. My mates told me about it before I watched it. But my mates say, we haven't seen Misery. And then the next sentence is, what happens to that guy? So I knew it was coming. But when it's coming, it's like, oh my god. But other than that, yes, it's a scary situation. But it's not petrifying, is it, 28 Days Later. It's an amazing movie. Is it scary? Is it petrifying? It's scary, but it's not petrifying, okay? Poltergeist. Love Poltergeist. I got good memories. It's probably one of the first horror movies I ever watched. My parents were away. My gran was babysitting, and I was watching in my bedroom at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was on, and literally right in front of the TV, the volume on like 1 kind of thing, Dog Soldiers, another amazing movie. Is it scary? Yes. Is it petrifying? Not to watch? No. Okay. So before we get into my 5, I'll just catch up on the old comments. Where are we? Alone in the Dark. The film is bloody awful. They're remaking The Thing. So yeah, I got that one. The Thing is awesome. The practical effects still looking incredible today. Yes, the Thing, the first Thing, or the John Carpenter first film, I think the effects look better than the newer one, because that's probably, arguably, the best practical effects in cinema history. That fucking, when the head is like a spider, it's brilliant. How do they think these things up, like, do you know what I mean? Smug, if Godzilla came to Wales, there's not much choice. There's only 5 of us in the country, love. Yeah, he'd probably come here, have a nap, and then fuck off to London or something, wouldn't he? Scariest 6, yeah, she puts a wooden block between her ankles. Like, oh, and I can see it now. Can you imagine, though? Like, this nice nurse is looking after me. She's my #1 fan. Because it's almost like he does it a lot, doesn't he? And it's especially in his books. The main character's a writer. So I think in Stephen King bases a lot of these characters on himself. So imagine Stephen King in bed. He has an accident, that's right, isn't it? And then this woman who's a nurse, just happens to be a nurse, rescues him. Number one fan. Oh yeah, and she bursts in. She doesn't like what he's right because she makes him write the book again, and she wants to keep him as a pet, doesn't she? Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that fucking scene is brutal. Um, try Martyrs. Martyrs. What's that? Try Martyrs. Not seen or heard of that one. I don't think I have anyway. Right, so these movies petrified me, okay? I think the first, or number 5, maybe because I watched it way, way, way too young, okay? And I don't look at it as a horror movie now, but the movie I'm talking about is The Terminator, the first one. Now, I definitely watched it when I was too young. It took me about 4 sittings to get through it because my next door neighbour was a year younger than me. His parents didn't care. My mum and dad, mainly my mum, was very strict on what we watched. But my next door neighbour, his parents didn't care. And he had a copy of Terminator. And every time I used to go around there, we used to put it on for a bit. But then I remember, like, for years after watching it, I'd always think, for example, say I'm in a public toilet. I was only like 9 or 10. I would look, if I'm here and the Terminator walks in, how do I escape? I'd literally, every strange room I'd go in. So say I was over, I remember once we were visiting friends of the family in Worcester. I went to the toilet and I remember looking out the window because I had to make sure if the Terminator came in through the door, could I jump out the window? And I remember opening windows it messed with my head, right? But the Terminator petrified me. Of course, he's not real, but when I watched it, he was the scariest thought. Imagine, because he doesn't get tired, he doesn't sleep. I mean, while you're napping, he's still hunting you down. That is a scary thought, but I got it. When I first watched it, it was just so... The whole concept was... Yes, it was cool. It was one of the best films I've ever seen, but it was so scary, do you know what I mean? So coming in at number 5 is The Terminator, the first one. Very similar reason I watched it too young was Halloween, the first Halloween with Michael Myers. The thought, I remember where my bedroom was, we used to sleep with our bedroom doors open, and I remember, like, do you know, you see things differently in the dark, and I was seeing like a shadow of like a jacket hanging on the side of my door, and I was like, oh my god, it's Michael Myers. And then I turn the light on, and oh, it's my jacket, and I go back to bed. Then I'd look, and I'd be like, oh my god. And I remember sitting up on my bed, looking down my landing or the hallway, and just be like, oh my god, is like waiting for like a shadow of the door. Is that him standing there? And like 20, 30 minutes just staring at this shadow, and then finally plucking up the courage to turn the light on again. Oh, it's just a shadow from the way the door is. Do you know what I mean? That movie scared the shit. I definitely watched that too young. I was a bit older. I probably was 11 or 12 when I watched it, but that was very, very, very scary. Do you know what I mean? Game of the Ankles, watch Edition. You'll never want to go on a date again. Well, I'm already there. I don't want to go on a date. I'll have to check that out. Two Tony, two Fighter. Two Tony, two Fighter. Tony Fighter 2. I had to check my own name as well. I get confused. I am trying to shorten my name. It was a lot longer, but I'm doing my best, okay? Okay, coming in at number 3, I look at it now as more of a comedy, but if you really think about it, it's really scary, okay? Is mainly the first one, Nightmare on Elm Street, okay? How scary... This is scarier as you get older. Is it? Like a lot of people, you feel great when you have a good night's sleep, don't you? And when you get older, you get excited about having an early night or lying the next day, do you know what I mean? So imagine just being scared to sleep. You've got to sleep. There's no escaping sleep. Everybody does it. I mean, I've had issues. I take medication for sleeping, but if I don't take it, I think the longest I've gone is 3 nights, and I'd had zero sleep. But then, trust me, that fourth night, I slept like a fucking baby. Do you know what I mean? So imagine fighting against sleep because you know what's waiting for you when you fall asleep. Do you know what I mean? So that's that. The more I think about it, the more it's such a clever idea for a movie. I know some of them have gone like camp as hell now. I love Nightmare on Elm Street, especially the first one with Johnny Depp. That film is perfection, okay? But also, that's terrifying or petrifying, isn't it? You know what I mean? Not scary. That's really scary as far as I'm concerned. Coming in at number 2, we went to the cinema to watch this when I was in Cheltenham. Shout out Cheltenham. Is Paranormal Activity. I don't ever want to watch that movie. That's the only movie I think that still scares the shit out of me, right? I watched it in the cinema. It was like, when I went to Cheltenham, I went there, I was working in Curry's. It was my first manager's job. I was the assistant manager. But what I liked up there was the people I worked with. I didn't really like the job, but I liked the people I worked with. And there was loads. The majority of the people there were my age. So I was worried about moving to a different town. I knew zero. I didn't know anyone. So I was worried. But I made friends with a lot of the people there. Do you know what I mean? So one of our things to do was the cinema. I remember we watched Avatar in the cinema. I think we watched Kick-Ass in the cinema. And there'd be like a good crowd of us would go. And when we went to watch Paranormal Activity, the cinema was full. And do you know when you see, like, in these American adverts for the new horror movie, and everybody's jumping and popcorn's going fucking flying and stuff like that? That's what it was like in the cinema. I'm not lying, that's what it was like in the cinema, okay? It was, people are jumping, and it was, oh my God. And I remember the ending when, okay, again, spoiler if you haven't seen it. But you know, if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. When the good woman's coming closer to that camera, I was hiding behind my eyes. I was like, oh, I can't. But I was trying to be the big guy and laugh at everyone else getting scared and stuff like that. Oh, and funny story, one of the boys brought his girlfriend along with him. Shout out Dan. I don't think he's on. I haven't seen him for years. Been a really attractive girlfriend. Okay, they've been together a couple of years, right? And that night, he thought it'd be funny to grab his girlfriend's leg in the middle of the night and pull her out of the bed, and she dumped him. That they split up forever because she's so fucking scared. Do you know what I mean? And I remember I lived alone. Long before I had Rossi. This was back in 2009, 2010, that kind of time, you know, whenever it came out in the cinema. And I wasn't scared of my house, but when I went home, my house had these massive fir trees in the garden. It was about 14 of them. It wasn't a very big garden. The trees needed to be cut back, basically, but some of them were touching the window. I wasn't aware of that until I'd watched this movie. And that night, I was like, oh my God, I hardly slept. All of us that were on the earlies in work the next day, I remember I was supposed to take a briefing for 15 minutes to talk about the business. All we talked about is who did you get any sleep? And one of the boys, yeah, I got dumped, and it was crazy. Do you know what I mean? It was just really left its mark. And I remember we had to check CCTV for something, and it was something like a shadow. We saw a shadow in the middle of the night or something. Well, oh my, it really was fucking scary. Do you know what I mean? I got no rush to watch. I know it's only a movie, but I know that'll mess with me. I'll be fine watching it, but you know when you switch off and you go to bed, I know I'll start, as soon as my eyes close, I'll start seeing things, and my brain and my imagination will be playing tricks. It'll get the better of me. Okay, before we go into number 1, let's catch up in the comments. Who remembers Ghostwatch, the BBC Halloween spoof? Ghostwatch sounds familiar. With Michael Parks and Craig Charles back in the early 90s. It definitely sounds familiar. Definitely. Man, I've got such a grim story about that. Right, let's get this. Sorry, I'm crap at reading comments, aren't I? I just wish you could change the fucking size of the font. So Donald Macro came in. I've got such a grim story about that. A nurse I know had to tell her husband that when he fell asleep, he would be passing away. He had an odd illness, fell into coma, and his organs started to shut down. Then had to put him on a machine to breathe. Fucking hell. When he came to, she had to explain that there was nothing they could do anymore. He had to say goodbye to her and his children, and then they put him back under and plugged him. Fucking hell. I remember that. Oh, wow, that's grim. It got banned. People thought it was real. Fuck. Mind you, people, back in the day, people just used to get fooled. I remember they'd played a prank in, I think it was Hyde Park in London, right? Obviously, years ago. Like, I'm talking like in the 60s. They had these fucking massive dinosaur, like, what they call it? Like, not plastic, but almost plastic, like life-size dinosaurs. And they played dinosaur noises, and everyone thought they were real dinosaurs. Yeah, people were gullible back then, weren't they? So, Paranormal Activity is up there. That, to me, that's petrifying, because it's kind of the unknown, because you don't actually see footprints and stuff like that. You don't actually see it. There isn't actually a monster. Do you know what I mean? You do see, you know. It's very similar. Is the Blair Witch Project, okay? The first one. I remember arguing with someone because one of my mates thought it was real. He actually thought that I would. I remember we were talking about it for 8 hours. He wouldn't shut up about it, right? I said, do you really think that's real? He said, yeah, why would anyone go to the cinema and watch trash like that? But it was genius, wasn't it? I think it is the most profitable film of all time. It's the movie that took over because it was Mad Max, wasn't it? Shout out Mad Max. That's perfection movie, that is. But it was purposely low budget on these shitty grainy cameras because it's like found footage. It's the first time we ever saw that, isn't it? And obviously, that's what inspired Paranormal Activity. But can you imagine going camp? Every time I've been camping since, I think of that movie. So someone shaking the tent before would be quite scary. I'll tell you a funny story about that now. But now it would be petrifying and hearing like kids laughing. Before that wouldn't be scary. It's like, oh, fuck off, kids, and trying to sleep. Now it'd be, oh my God, it's the Blair Witch has come to get me. Do you know what I mean? It's a brilliant movie. And we had it on VHS. We recorded it off TV. And I remember the girl I was dating at the time, we were writing, we were getting organised. We must have been fucking really bored. So we were basically all these blank tapes with no labels on them, but they all had movies. So we were like putting it in to see what movie it was. And when we found the Blair Witch, she wrote the Blair Witch and in small writing, she wrote, don't let Tony watch on his own. Because I was that scared of it, you know what I mean? But that movie is so fucking scary. But it does remind me of a funny story where when we were teenagers, my parents had a caravan. So we're either swimming in a swimming competition every weekend. And if not, we'd be away with like a caravan club that we were in. Mainly all over Wales, West Wales and stuff like that. So we go in and so a nice caravan. Me and my brother sleep in a tent. We had the awning. We had all the gear. I had no idea, but we had everything, right? And I was like because my older brother and it was these two other boys who used to hang around with. I actually used to date their sister, and she was in school with me. But their older brothers were about 4 or 5 years older, so a lot miles bigger than me, right? So there was this young couple, right? And they were shagging, right? In this tent, right? So we were just up to mischief. And they said, I dare you to go up and shake the tent. So I said, I really could hear them. They were going at it, right? So it was quite late. It was dark. I remember it was dark. So I'm creeping up thinking, they'll all laugh now when I shake this tent. What I didn't see was they were coming up behind me. So I went to shake a tent and they pushed me on the tent. So these two people must have been going at it, right? And I landed on top of them. Put my arms out to try and stop. They proper shoved me, right? So I put my arms out to stop. But I remember whoever was on top, I was on top of them. I was like, oh, sorry. I fucking run. That's probably the fastest I've ever run in my life. To run into the woods. But no, if that was after the Blair Witch, they might have been shagging 1 minute and then shitting everywhere the next minute. They probably were annoying. They're probably not happy with me. Like when I heard the zips fucking open, I couldn't. I was like overtaking Usain Bolt kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But whenever I see anything to do with camping, that memory's ingrained in my head. Do you know what I mean? The bastards. Let's have a look. But yeah, Blair Witch is my. It's so scary, and I gotta be honest, right? The Blair Witch. I know they did a sequel. They rushed like a Hollywood production sequel out, but this is a good sequel. This is the one that came out. Is it 2016? Yeah, that came out in 2016, right? And I didn't at first. I didn't want to watch it, but I thought I'd give it a go, right? So this is more trying to go for that style. It's found footage, but it's more modern. So they got things like a drone and stuff like that. But you go to that house that's right at the end of the first Blair Witch, and it'd be bet sometimes less is more. So you got the camera. First of all, you wouldn't, if you're running for your life, you wouldn't turn and turn the camera. You might turn your head. You'd even forget fucking the camera, wouldn't you? But I know it would be a movie otherwise. But the bit where I think it's the woman turns round and you see the witch, and it's creepy, right? But it would have been more scary if you didn't see it, in my opinion. If it followed more low budget, because it was really scary movie. But it was like, oh yeah, it reminded you, oh yeah, I'm watching a Hollywood movie here. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that is the original Blair Witch is my scariest movie. I don't know, I don't go camping anymore, so I probably wouldn't mind it now. And if I do go holidays, it's in a caravan, so it's not as scary, you know. Yeah, back then, like, yeah, when I watched it, yeah, I didn't want to go camping anytime soon, you know. Right, let's catch up on the old comments. Oh my god, it's been loads. I remember Ghostwatch seriously freaked me out when I was a kid. I don't with what's his name in it? Craig Charles, is it? Yeah, with Craig Charles. I remember the name of it. Maybe I was a bit too young if it was early 90s. It freaked me out when I was a kid. I've seen it since, and it's so obvious that's fake, but it seemed real when I was a kid. I think now, because effects are a lot better. But I think practical effects, like I said, well, it was in 1982 the John Carpenter thing came out. Like, I know, like, let's use Alien Romulus now. That visually looks good because people are going back now to try and use practical effects because the CGI thing it's cheaper now. It doesn't look as good as, like, again, the thing, the 1982 one, it's real. It's there, isn't it? It's easier for the actors as well if that scary fucking thing is right there, like, do you know what I mean? Like that spider head. If I knew it was, obviously I know it's not real, but if that was crawling towards me, I would be still shitting myself. Do you know what I mean? Donald Macro Gaming, wasn't Yvette Fielding on it, or am I mixing up with Ghost Hunt? That was the idea behind Blair Witch. The made fake website. Yes, right, and released it as a real film. See, my mate proper fell for it. He was adamant that's real, and I remember one of the things I said, if that was real, they'd send fucking, back then I thought Americans were more intelligent, but they'd send the FBI, they'd send the specialists in, do you know what I mean? Back, do you know what I mean? There'd be some expert out there. I was trying to explain to him, there are people like in the Ghostbusters, do you know what I mean? You send someone in there. Do you think they'd allow that to happen and stuff like that? It'd be basically even bigger news if it was real, but he was having none of it, do you know what I mean? It was like a live house hunting. I don't know if I do remember it, you know. I'm not sure. The actors don't know what was going on, what was going to happen, and generally thought one of the actors had gone missing, but we're just told to carry on. Actual panicked, and they were in an actual snuff film. Fucking hell. I remember when she was that scene with the fucking snot coming out, and because they looked sleep deprived, but I believe they were sleep deprived. They went through it. And it's genius to use unknown actors as well, isn't it? Because if there was fucking, I don't, like a Leonardo DiCaprio in there, do you know what I mean? It wouldn't have worked, would it? You think he even if it was a half famous actor, you'd still think, yeah, he or she. It just reminds you, wouldn't it, that it's not real. But yeah, very, very clever idea, genius idea, you know. Angry Moose, it was Michael Parkinson, Sarah Green, and Craig Charles. Yes, rats, right. Angry Moose, Don Mackerel, shagging and shitting. It's £30 extra. Are you talking about that tent thing? Oh my god, those boys, I tell you. I think one of them's passed away now, actually. Yeah, I was always, because I was the little one. I was younger, but I was a lot smaller. Like, they were like as strong as men, do you know what I mean? When they pushed me, I've never been shoved like that in my life, do you know what I mean? So I put my arms out, didn't I? And I like to think it was the woman that I was touching, do you know what I mean? In my thing, I'm not sure though, do you know what I mean? But yeah, they were. I don't know if they were close to the end, but they were having fun. They'll probably never forget that night either, will they? I never even thought about it from their point of view. Are they going to remake the Blair Witch? I don't know if it'll work again, though, will it? I think the game, I'm interested in playing the video game. I think there's a dog in that one as well. Shout out to the dog. But I don't know. It's like a one and done. I suppose the thing, right, with the Blair Witch, right? I was thinking of this before. You wouldn't want to go camping. So the ultimate scary way to watch the Blair Witch is to watch it inside a tent in a woods, isn't it? In the dark. Halloween. That's probably the ultimate. If you want to get a scare, the first time you've ever watched it in a tent, on your own, whatever, right? That would be scary as fuck. But then, do you know Paranormal Activity? So you think, right, I won't go camping because that scares me, right? I don't know if the world's camping fucking figures went down after that movie for the next couple of years. I don't know. But the thing with Paranormal Activity, everyone's got a house. Not like the house they had. They had a lovely house, if I remember right. But it's like, because I went home after laughing at everyone else getting scared. I didn't tell anyone I had my hands over my eyes right at the end, right? But when I went home and I waved to the guys, they dropped me off. Ta-ra, guys, I'll see you in work tomorrow. And it was dark. I went home and it was suddenly, when I went to bed, I was like, fuck, this is scary. And my light was the other end of the room. It wasn't like I had a side bed by a bedside lamp. I could keep turning on. What's that shadow? What's that? What's that? Do you know what I mean? So you can't... You can argue it's even cleverer. That it's like almost one-upping the Blair Witch. It's not as scary as the Blair Witch, but it's a very good idea. It's as good an idea as the Blair Witch. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense, okay? Very last scene of the Blair Witch freaked me out. Just the image of that guy stood in the corner of that dark room. Super creepy. Have you seen that version? Spoiler, cover your ears. Spoiler. That guy's still standing there in that one. That is, I think the sequel, that one is the woman, her brother wants, that's why they're there, I think. And so it is tied to it. And you can hear her screaming. That's what makes them want to go into the house. Do you know what I mean? Originally, when they find it. But that scene, where it's, again, less is more. A shadow was enough to scare the fuck out of you. When you see that, like I say, that man, and if you watch it very closely at the beginning, do you know, like the little snapshot interviews, like some people are shutting their doors, they don't want to talk about the Blair Witch, but one of them says something, oh yeah, she makes them stand, if they're naughty, or to punish them, she makes them stand in the corner, facing the corner, while she punishes the other one, or something like that. So if you second time you watch it, you pick up on that. You go, oh, it makes it even more meaningful. Like, it's not just random guy standing in the fucking corner with all those little handprints. Oh, it's giving me the creeps just thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? But what a great movie. Do you know what I mean? The actors in Blair Witch use their real names. Did they really? I didn't know that. And had to pretend to be dead afterwards. Fucking hell. Is that real? They were literally hidden away, and the mum of the girl got letters from friends oh my god, grieving for their loss. Fuck. That's going a bit far, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Try watching a Spanish film called Wreck. Oh, I know I seen the cover. Wreck as in record, isn't it, or something? I seen like it's on a slant. I've seen that. Looks creepy as fuck. Like, probably inspired by like one of these, what they call them, like found footage movies. Do you know what I mean? But the Blair Witch, it's got layers, isn't it? Like the guy goes mad, he throws the map away or something, and it just feels real. It's like, you twat, why would you do that? And that's how the actors and the actress act, isn't it? They're like, you idiot, why would you do that? But again, they're walking around in circles because they're confused, and that is quite scary, isn't it? And imagine, I'm not the best. I'm all right on land. I remember when I was scuba diving. Fuck, it's easy to get lost. And I remember when I was leading groups, because I was a dive master, and by the end of the season, they were confident for me to lead a group. And we were leading groups, and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to go in that direction. It's simple, I go in that direction for like 30 minutes and turn around. I can swim back, and the boat should be there. And I remember the first time, I was so worried that I'd be getting lost, kind of thing. But imagine that in the woods, walking for hours and hours and hours, and then you come back and you're back where you fucking started. Oh my god, I can't. It's, the more you think about it, the scarier it is. I didn't know that about the families though. Like, that would have cost, what would that cost them? Say a small group of people in one fucking town in America saying, oh yeah, it's fake. That wouldn't affect the global sales and success of the movie. I'm surprised that maybe they are in other movies. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want anything to do with the film industry after working on that movie, because it would have been scary, wouldn't it? That when they're shaking the tents and one of the scene that woman gasps, that's real, I think. Do you know what I mean? And it's, I don't know. Would you stay in the tent? Or would you run out in the middle of the night? What would you do? Do you know what I mean? Because that tent's fucking shaking like fuck. Do you know what I mean? And again, so if I got pushed on that tent after the Blair Witch, they probably wouldn't be so quick to get out, would they? Because I was a child being pushed on top, so maybe I was laughing. So that's probably if they had the Blair Witch experience before the Blair Witch, didn't they? Or because he kicked a pile of stones over. That's it, that's right. So he messed up some ritual. Again, a pile of stones wouldn't be scary normally, all those fucking hanging wooden things in the trees. But now you'd be, oh, that's pretty. But now you'd be like, oh, fuck. Which links back to the biblical passage of the old woman tells him a deer from Genesis. Oh, is that a scene? Maybe I missed that bit. I've got the urge to watch it again. I know I'll probably regret watching it again, but it's been years since I've watched it, and I still remember a lot of the key points. But I remember it was so fucking scary. And I do recommend that. I think I paid £1, or even, £1, I want to say, for this. If you liked the first one, ignore the second one. That's a trash movie, you know. But that's more of the same, but it's not a patch on the original. But it still is a good movie. I liked the fact that they had a drone. I thought, yeah, of course you'd have a drone, just in case you get lost. But then there's other things that go wrong and stuff like that, you know. Don Macrogame, and the girl changed her name and quit acting. Shit. The lads just didn't really get much work afterwards. All of them got bummed financially and said the movie making process ruined them. That's a shame, isn't it? Because, again, like, the most successful financially, the most successful movie before that was Mad Max, starring Mel Gibson. And he was at one time, one of the most famous actors in the world, you know what I mean? He still is A-list, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Still getting work now. Right, I think that's going to do, guys. So that's my scary movies, scary video games. Yeah, I do like a good scary movie. I've got quite a few. Like I watched, what's it called? The Woman in Black the other day. But it's a scary movie. Basically, the jump scares. It's, Daniel Craig, is it? The Harry Potter, whatever his name is. I don't think he's not like a wizard in it. He's in it. Good. It's a good movie, but it's just so reliant on jump scares. But it's not a scare like you don't go to like after watching it. I watched it just before bed, slept like a baby. It's not petrifying. I like a good movie that makes you think. It stays with you, like Blair Witch. It stayed with me, still scares me. When did that come out? Was it the 2000, 2001 kind of time? And all these years later, it stayed with me, Yeah, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me as per usual. How long have we, that one said? Oh, 80 minutes. Fuck, I always say it. These live streams absolutely fly by. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, if you're not watching live as well, let me know in the comments. Either really scary movies or more like psychological scary. I think that's what my jam is, or scary games that I should be playing. One I think I'm going to be pretty soon getting is Resident Evil 4, but I'm going to replay that demo before I pull the trigger on that one. Okay. I hope you have a great week. Hopefully next week I'll have some good news on my employment. I'm probably going to be streaming Outlast at some point this week, okay? Whenever I play it, I will stream at least once. I'll do at least one stream, see how that goes. Might do all 3 games. Who knows? Yeah, have a great week, guys. Thanks for stopping on by. Sorry about the technical issues at the beginning, but I'm still learning, do you know what I mean? Yeah, have a great week. Love you. Bye.